Good afternoon. It's September 30th. We're rapidly approaching the end of September. And welcome to all of you. Special welcome to my friends in personal care. Ellen has arranged for you to see this on the big television set. And to the people in medical, I hope you're able to watch it on computers or tablets. Welcome to the new residents, the 9 people we have from Spring Lake Village. If any of you are able to log into this, we're glad to have you join us. And to our friends in Webster House, for the 3rd time, we're glad to welcome you. We're going to start with a piece of music written by Frederick Lowe. Lowe and Lerner did their first musical was My Fair Lady, which we did a medley from a few weeks ago. Today we're going to do one of the pieces from Camelot in 1960. In fact, this was the most popular of all of the tunes from Camelot, with the title, If Ever I Would Leave You. Lerner wrote the lyrics based on the King Arthur legend adapted from T.H. White's novel in 1958, The Once and Future King. And it's the beautiful music written by Frederick Lowe, powerful and beautiful love song, sung by Sir Lancelot, who was played by Robert Goulet in the original Broadway cast, sung to Guinevere, who is played by Julie Andrews. And the original production of Camelot ran for 873 performances, which was not a great hit, but it did win 4 Tony Awards, and it generated several revivals and foreign productions, and is still quite popular and still being revived. And in 1967, there was the Warner Brothers film. Here it is, Frederick Lowe's beautiful music, If Ever I Would Leave You. Thank you. And now we have a request, and I'm very glad for requests. If any of you think of tunes that you've heard me play and would like to hear again, I'd be glad to hear from you. Or if there's something that you remember that you haven't heard me play, let me know, and if I can do it, I'd be glad to do it for you. This one is from Francoise Miller for beautiful song written by Consuelo Velasquez in 1940, Bésame Mucho. It's one of the most famous boleros ever written and was recognized in 1999 as the most sung and most recorded Mexican song in the world. Francoise tells me she has fond memories of dancing to this song, and I have fond memories of playing it with my quartet in the summer of 1955. That was the summer before my senior year in college, and it was at the height of my musical career. We had an all-summer gig at the Colorado Hotel in Glenwood Springs, a resort in the Colorado Mountains near Aspen. We played every weekday night from 9 o'clock to 12 o'clock for dancing, and bossa novas had just become quite popular, and we got lots of requests for them. We played this wonderful little song as a bolero and as a bossa nova, and then during 1 2-week period, we had a couple in the audience almost every night who requested a tango, and we played Bésame Mucho at a slightly slower tempo as a tango. And I'm going to play it through twice, once as a bolero and once as a tango. Thank you, thank you. Now, on my clarinet, I'm going to play Georgia on My Mind. This is, some of you will remember, one of Hoagy Carmichael's songs, one of the 4 that music critics have recognized as his most popular and they think his best songs. We'll hear another one of them later. Not yet. It was written in 1930, and Hoagy wrote the music, and at that time he was in the University of Indiana, and his roommate was a man named Stuart Gorrell, and Stuart Gorrell is the one who wrote the lyrics. The song actually is written in 1930, but it has its origins somewhere between 1921 and 1925, when Hoagy and Stuart Gorrell were roommates at Indiana University. During that time, Stuart got to know Hoagy's younger sister, Georgia. Hoagy remembers years later, Stuart and Georgia dated for a while off and on during those college years, but not much ever came of it. Hoagy and Stuart graduated in 1925. Hoagy stayed on at Indiana University for 2 more years to take a law degree, while he continued to lead his dance band, which he had called Carmichael's Collegians, which played locally wherever they could get gigs, and as far north as Cleveland and South Bend, Indiana. It was during this time that Hoagy met 2 great musicians, Bix Beiderbecke, who in the 1920s was the best known and the most highly regarded improviser, and played especially on his cornet, played trumpet and cornet, but especially on his cornet with this beautiful tone and improvisations. He was one of the leaders of a group of improvisers that would influence jazz for years. He himself had only a few more years to play when he met Hoagy. And the other great musician he met at this time was Louis Armstrong. Armstrong became a very good friend of Hoagy's and influenced his music throughout his long career. Hoagy once wrote a letter to his wife saying, "Louis taught me a lot about music, especially about improvisation and what he called finding the pretty notes." He meant finding the pretty notes. This, a few years later, in 1930, Hoagy was living in New York City, and Stuart came to visit him. It was early in September, but as they both remembered it, it was unreasonably cold and stormy. They began reminiscing about college days, and years later, Stuart Gorrell would write in a letter to a newspaper about that night. He was answering a letter from a group of fans who had written to the newspaper asking how Georgia on My Mind came to be written. And he wrote this. "It was," he wrote, "a cold, stormy evening in New York City. Hoagy and I were in a 3rd-floor apartment overlooking 52nd Street, with cold feet, looking out the window and not liking what we saw. We turned our thoughts to warmer times and to a song we had been playing around with in college days. Hoagie sat down at his piano, and after only a short while, that hauntingly sweet song was born. It turned out to be a very good song. Hoagie recognized it immediately, and he and his band recorded Georgia on My Mind soon after that cold night in early September, just about exactly 90 years ago today. Later that next week, Vic Spiderbeck joined Hoagie Carmichael and his orchestra, playing a beautiful and now classic improvised cornet solo on the recording, the last recording that Vic Spiderbeck ever made before his untimely death in 1931 at the age of 28. 30 years later, in 1960, Ray Charles, a native of the state of Georgia, recorded Georgia on My Mind for his 1960 album entitled The Genius Hits the Road. And in 1979, the state of Georgia, by legislative action, designated Ray Charles's version of Georgia on My Mind as the official state song of Georgia. So we have this beautiful song written both as a love song to a college sweetheart and as a love song to the state of Georgia. And that letter that I told you about that Stuart Gorell was answering was, did he think it was a song for Georgia or a song for a woman? And at the end of the letter, he said, "My mother asked me the same question. What do you think?" So they leave that. Stuart and Hoagie always left that as an unanswered question from the time that Ray Charles made it a song to Georgia, not saying anything more about who the song was really written for. Here it is, Georgia on My Mind. Thank you. Thank you. Now, that was written in 1930, 4 years ago, and way up north and to the east in Blueberry Hill in Harlem, Duke Ellington was writing one of the most famous songs he would ever write. Another slow one, a beautiful slow ballad that he called Solitude, also known as In My Solitude. Here's Duke Ellington's Solitude. It was recorded by many after Duke first recorded it, and the first one to record it was Louis Armstrong in 1935, and he did a famous improvisation on Duke Ellington's Solitude. So here it is, Solitude, In My Solitude, and I'll play it on my clarinet and see if I can find some pretty notes. Duke Ellington's Solitude. Now, this was written by Joe Golland, and it was written for and arranged for the Glenn Miller Orchestra. And it became one of Glenn Miller's favorite songs. He played it a lot all through the war at all of his performances that he did with his orchestra for the troops in Europe, and with the title In the Mood. And here is Joe Gollan's In the Mood for the Glenn Miller Orchestra. In the Mood. And now this one, written by Augustine Lara, a beautiful song about a beautiful place. A Mexican composer wrote this song in honor of a castle in Spain, Granada, the famous Granada. It's been a favorite song for many opera singers to sing. All three of the three tenors used it as an encore piece during the three tenors concerts, and it was especially a favorite of Placido Domingo, the Spaniard, one of the two Spaniards. Here it is, Granada. Is there trouble?
No. She's going to tell me if she can meet me downstairs.
Not too good. There, that's better. Thank you. Now this is a song written by Randy Sparks, who was the founder of the New Christy Minstrels. And it was a first great hit for the New Christy Minstrels. It has the title of Today, or you'll recognize it more with the complete title, Today While the Blossoms Are Still on the Vine. I'll taste your strawberries and drink your sweet wine. He wrote it as a folk song. Folk songs, some will argue, are not written, they're discovered. But in 1961, quite a large group of composers started writing songs in the tradition of folk songs. And this was one of the most successful ones, Today, written by Randy Sparks. Today, made famous by the New Christy Minstrels. Now this goes back to 1929, a musical with the title Spring is Here. And Rogers, that's Richard Rogers, and Larry Hart, his first collaborator as a music writing team, wrote together for 20 years before Rogers and Hammerstein found each other. And Rogers and Hart wrote this in 1929, one of their best. It was sung in the 1944 Hollywood musical This Is the Life, sung by Donald O'Connor and Susanna Foster. And the title of the song was With a Song in My Heart. It was then included in the 1948 musical film Words and Music, which was a biography of Rogers and Hart, mostly about Larry Hart, actually, where it was sung by Perry Como, and then a very notable version of the song features in Michael Curtiz's 1950 Hollywood musical biographical drama, Young Man with a Horn, where it was performed by Doris Day with trumpeter Harry James and his orchestra. It was a beautiful, beautiful rendition of With a Song in My Heart by Harry James on the trumpet, which was the favorite trumpet solo to be played by my very good friend in those days, in those high school days, Eddie Kleiger, who was often in competition with me, and a very, very excellent trumpet player. And he would make this scream at a high pitch, looking for a high note, which good trumpeters seem to always be looking for. Here is With a Song in My Heart by Rogers and Larry Hart. Thank you, thank you. Rogers and hearts with a song in my heart. Now I'm going to conclude today's concert with a beautiful love song, actually a love duet, which is also another of my attempts to smuggle into the program a couple of snippets of classical music. Somewhere is the title, also known as Somewhere There's a Place for Us. You'll be recognizing it also as the beautiful love song from West Side Story, where Tony sings it to Maria and Maria sings it to Tony, where they're desperately trying to convince themselves that there is somewhere a place for them in spite of the Romeo and Juliet curse that West Side Story inherited from Shakespeare. And as the audience knows, there's not going to be a place for them, and that adds to the tragic poignancy of this beautiful love duet. Here it is, Leonard Bernstein and Stephen Sondheim's Somewhere. you, thank you. And I forgot to tell you the part about the classical music, so I'm going to say that quickly. It is begun with a musical phrase from the slow movement of Beethoven's Emperor Piano Concerto. Some of you may have recognized that. That's the beautiful beginning theme. And then Bernstein adds to that a longer phrase from the main theme of Tchaikovsky's Swan Lake. So it's Beethoven and Tchaikovsky that I tried to smuggle into the concert by using Leonard Bernstein's Somewhere, just as a couple of weeks ago, Andre Castellanos helped me with that beautiful thing he wrote, Moon Love, using classical music themes. So that was that. I'm going to play once more for you the beginning theme that he took from Beethoven's Emperor Concerto, slow movement. Okay, thank you all very much, and I'll be back again next Wednesday at 3:30. It's Wednesday today, tomorrow is Thursday, and an unusual time for Michael Sanders to be playing, but because of the flu shots on Friday, he's moved his concert up to tomorrow, Thursday afternoon at 4 o'clock. You won't want to miss it. Thank you all for being here. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next Wednesday.